everybody. It's a pleasure to have you here. Good morning, good afternoon, good night, wherever you are in the world. It's a pleasure to be here again with you. Welcome to our program, Consciousness in Evolution. My name is Ana Yogan. I am here representing Reaprendência, a consciouscentric institution that is dedicated to re-education. You can find our page, Reaprendência International, at YouTube, Facebook, or Instagram. Today, we are going to talk about family relationships. The family, the fundamental building block of the society. It has evolved and transformed over time. Yet, bringing together individuals with diverse personalities can be both rewarding and challenging. Family is supposed to be a safe haven, a place where love and connection begins, and paving the way towards understanding, growth, and harmony. However, it may be still a little complicated. To talk about that, welcome our guest, Fabiana Cerato. Fabiana is graduated in architecture, specialized in project planning and building, positive psychology, didactics, and methodology. She has been a researcher and a Conscientiology instructor since 1997. She is a mother of two daughters, an entrepreneur, an interpreter, and a writer. Her book, Overcoming Domestic Violence, Changing Thinking Patterns, is available on Amazon, the international one, not the Brazilian one, because it's in English. Okay, so please, Fabiana, let's see what you have for today. Thank you for being here.
Thank you, Ana. Thank you, everyone, for welcoming here today to address such an important matter, family, the relationship about family, how we connect, how we interact, how we interrelate with everybody, pros and cons. The family, as Ana mentioned before, supposed to be a paved place and a saved place, a saved environment for us. But when it's not, what could we do? No, sometimes we are without floor. No? So we need to learn how to pave the floor by ourselves. Let's join me to talk about this. So let's start addressing balanced family relationships. This is what we want. This is what we aim. This is our goal. To be in a group together, in which everybody is balanced, no conflict, only harmony, only harmonized relationships. But when it's not harmonic, when there are conflicts, what should we do about it? How can we learn from that, and how we could address international perspective and multidimensional perspective to amplify our horizons, to amplify the perception of our family group in order to qualify more the relationships that are inevitable. We cannot escape from our family. We do have to learn, and we can learn from that. Also, let's move on and address all the data and all the possibilities. So why that situation? Why I selected that? I select to talk about balanced family relationships in the evolutionary perspective, because I experience in my group Karma, in my family, I have been experiencing difficult and conflict situations lately. And in a family group, whenever you have a family with 3, 4, 5, 6 or more or less people, you are a group. And a group moves together. So we have pieces, we have pillars, and if a little conflict happens, it affects everybody that is together. No? So I've been experiencing conflicts lately, and I learn and I apply many tools, many evolutionary tools that have been helping me a lot to address that matter. It's important to say that here, welcome aboard. I see we have some good people here. That's great. So welcome everyone. It's important to say that we are talking here from the evolutionary perspective. What's the difference between evolutionary perspective and between intraphysical perspective? Well, we place a lens that is bigger. No? That's why the principle of disbelief is here. No? Do not believe in anything I am saying here, not even in what you hear in this webinar. Experiment. No? Have your own experiences. We are bringing tools here, we are bringing experiences, I am bringing myself experience here, but of course you have your context, you have your family, and you have different situations in order to create a balanced environment. So let's address that. So it's important to highlight this principle. So now, starting properly, whenever we think about a family, it's nice to know that from the evolutionary perspective, we have what we call group karmic inseparability. Oh, what is the group karmic inseparability? I will address group karma soon. But this is a law, no? It's a multidimensional law. So what is this? This is one imposition from the evolution process. It's a condition imposed by evolution of the prolonged and obviously inevitable existence or experimental union of evolutionary companions of the same group karma through the passage of millennia. No? So many lives we are together. So we are inseparable because we've been born inside that family. And it's not something you, after being born, you select and say, no, I don't want to have that mother. I don't want to have that father. I don't want that sister or that brother or whatever. You've been born in that group. That's why we are inseparable. And if we are inseparable, what is the most important thing to do about that? It's to learn to deal with that the best way possible. Of course, we all love our families. No, I love my family. I love my mother, my father, my brother, my sister. But we have been experiencing conflicts, and I've been learning, and this is what I want to bring here today. I've been learning to deal with conflicts in different ways, using different tools, no, in order to keep my head above the water. No. So this law, it's applicable either we want it or not, because we are in an intraphysical life. Yes, Anna?
I'd like to bring one item to this process because, as you can see, there are people from everywhere in the world here, and they come from different cultures. So, what kind of role do you think the culture plays inside this process of the group karmic inseparability?
Very strong one. Good question. Thank you. When we are born in a family, we are also born inside a culture, a language, a city, a neighborhood, a house. No? And I was having lunch with a friend still today before we started the broadcast, and we were discussing exactly about that. A house, I am an architect, so I love houses, right? A house helps us to fix our identity. We need a roof on top of our head. We need a culture to perceive who we are, especially right when we are born. We need a family, friends, but being born in a specific culture sets us specific roles that we learn according to the passage of the years. And this plays a very strong, let's call it pressure, if I may say, on top of us, because that is the culture we've been born. So, in one hand, it's great because it will help us a lot to start perceiving who we are. But on the other hand, it's interesting to pop out and look around to perceive how different cultures think or look alike. So in one hand is great. The same is with the family. In one hand is great to be part of that, but it's also a laboratory that teaches us a lot if we are aware of that. If we are not aware of that, it will be a big process to learn until we become aware of the family we have, right? And this is not good or bad. This is a process that we are learning to scale.
Right. I believe there is the question of the culture dictating what is right and wrong. And what is right and wrong for we Brazilians is one thing, for Americans are others. For Leona in Lebanon is a completely different thing. So
Yes.
that's important to see that the culture is kind of a frame to this whole process. We cannot address conflicts and families and individuals without forgetting this special detail, let's put it this way.
Yes,
And
yes.
as we get exposed to other cultures like you have been, I believe that gives you a lot more tools to address these conflicts. Is it true for you?
Yes, it is. That's why one of the passions I have are languages. I love to speak different languages, no matter which language. I do my best to learn different languages because they bring together this detail you just mentioned, this joy of understanding how the culture or how that culture that is defined or decided by that language is working. So yes, it is. And you use a word that is interesting, which is the frame. So we all have frames, hanging in pictures, hanging in our walls. But it's interesting to see that we have the frame and we have the essence of the picture there. So the culture is the frame that limit us to act according to what we have been learning during so many years. And it's hard to perceive that sometimes because that comes together with people we love. So we are bringing together love, learning, and also together in all that salad, let's say, we have responsibilities. So I am part of this family. What is my responsibility? Until where my responsibility goes, and what could I do to make it better, or how can I qualify something in the past I did wrong? So this is what we call being aware and being conscious about our family relationship. And that's why I am now bringing 3 different pictures from ocean or from the sea, to see the difference. What we aim we all aim balanced family relationships. I doubt that anybody who is watching this broadcast today would say against that, right? We all want balanced family relationships. We all want balanced relationships. We don't want to cause or bring or be part of any specific conflict, because usually conflicts and situations that are not balanced, they provoke and they promote bad stuff, bad sensations, bad feelings, bad situations, and we don't want to be part of that. So we all aim balanced family relationships, but we have to remember that we are a group living together as a mechanism. I want to highlight again the phrase and say there is no right and wrong. There are people learning. And there is one process, one evolutionary process that is based on that. Now, that is our floor to say. And there is nothing we could do to go against that. We could go against some actions, but we cannot go against the evolutionary process, because this is the process of our life, right? So what is a balanced family relationship? Usually, in a general way, is characterized by mutual respect, open communication, and constant support. This is what we consider harmonic and balanced relationship. Not only in family, but also in groups with friends. So mutual respect, open communication, and support. And this balanced family relationship is fundamental to our emotional, our psychological, our social, our evolutive well-being of all family members. So what I want to bring here now is two different ways of thinking. I might think, I don't care if my family is good or bad, as long as I am great, have my money, have my job, have my friends. I don't care about my family. And the second way of thinking, so those are two ways of thinking. The second way is, let's see what I could do, what is my part on this puzzle to make it better, to qualify the relationship. And people, I'm not talking about huge stuff. I'm not talking about a huge action. I'm talking about little tiny actions that sometimes, if I do, nobody even perceived that I did, but it helped with something specific. So if I know having a balanced relationship is fundamental to my emotional, psychological, bioenergetical process, I will try to do my best to help as much as I can, as long as I do not surpass boundaries, specific boundaries. And we'll be debating about this. So that's why the three images. We want the image number first, the first one, number one. But we have three. Usually, sometimes families are experiencing situations like the image number three. Conflict, big situations, big discussions, people are not talking to each other. Sometimes it's the image number two. Here we have some things that we are solving, so it's not harmonic. We are still experiencing ups and downs. And there are situations, moments, and families that is much more harmonized and balanced. So depend, each one has a specific context and situation about. So for us to address balanced family relationships, we have to address group karmic settlement, because a family is a group karma. And what is a group karma? Oh, group karma is the set of interpersonal relationships that we accumulate through our lives, which could generate pending issue and mutual affinities between the members. Here I am specifically talking about the family, but the group karma is not addressed, it's not only a family. We have co-workers, friends that we like, sometimes people we don't like much, but they are part of our group karma. Consciousness, we share our destiny. Oh, consciousness that you see, you talk, you interact, they are part of your group karma. Of course, your family, you've been born together, no? So you have more specific things to address. The boundary you have with that group is stronger. So that's why it's a specific group karma. So we cannot talk about balanced family relationship without addressing group karmic settlement. And what is that? Whenever we talk about a group karmic settlement, we address karmic adjustments that occurs jointly and simultaneously with other intraphysical or extraphysical consciousness. So sometimes we have here, you can see in the image number 3, really big conflicts with one specific person that is part of my family. And how I address that. It doesn't matter if it's the father, the mother, the sister, the brother, the siblings, whatever. No. Sometimes we have one item, we have one person we don't like. We have been having problems during our entire life as long as we remember, and we have that situation, that picture, very conflictive. So the more conflicts I have with that family, there is a tendency that whenever I see that person, the conflicts just pop out because we have been having that a lot. So what we could do to break that, to break that cycle, to create little by little other ways to interact. This is what we wanna call the attention here. This is what we wanna reflect here. So before we go to the next one, that we are going to talk a little bit about specific acts in the family, I would like to give 1 minute right now for us to reflect about our family, about our group karma. 1 minute for us to think about how is my relationship with my family today. Today is August 24, 2025. Here is 3, almost 3:30 GMT minus 3. Right now, in this minute, let's open 1 minute space for us to think about our family relationship. 1 minute. Okay. let's reflect and feel free right now, if you have any questions or any contributions, feel free to bring here to this field, this moment, and or any complementary thing you wanna say right now. Feel free. Now we are here to open the mic and to answer your question. If you don't have question, I will be going to the next slide, and feel free to ask until the end of this broadcast.
I'd like to ask something. In my family, we have like a different dynamics in between the daughters and the parents. I have two sisters and I have my parents. One is deceased already, and it's not an easy relationship because everybody's different. Like I live here, my sisters live in Brazil, my mom lives in Brazil, and sometimes we butt heads a lot because each one thinks differently. For instance, I have my mom that has dementia, and we want to give her the best treatment. And I understand a little more from the healthcare point of view because of being a physician and a nurse. My other sister, she deals with finances, so she kind of is good in this part. And I have one sister that takes care of my mom like 24/7, and she's a dentist, and we kind of have different opinions. So how to address that in a way that we can grow up, or instead of simply accepting what one person determines, because by the end of the day, sometimes there is just one opinion that has to be followed, and the other people just have to accept. What do you think about that scenario?
I think first, thank you for sharing your scenario, and the others, please feel free as well to share whenever you want. But I will bring some suggestions that I've been experiencing a very short period of time ago, and that helped me a lot. Two tools. No? First tool I use for my profit, which I profit a lot, is conscientiotherapy. No? What is a conscientiotherapy for people who are here for the first time? It's a group of people. They belong to one institution, no, international organization of conscientiotherapy. They are either two physicians or two psychologists, and they are there. You enroll a therapist in a simple way. You just get in contact, get in touch, and enroll yourself. The difference is that they will be applying the bioenergetic paradigm, the evolutionary paradigm. And therefore, you will see yourself immersed in a therapeutic field. And because you are in that therapeutic field, you will perceive that you have spaces to address deep down that situation. This is what happens with me, and that helped me a lot to not get crazy, because the conflicts I had in my family, they were immense, huge. And I almost got crazy. I thought, no, stop the train, I wanna jump. It's not for me. No. So that field helped me a lot to perceive myself, see where I was, and it amplifies, creates parapsychic spaces for us to address the same problem, the same issue in different ways. No? Of course, this requires some time for you to establish, to go there, to think together with the two other consciential therapists. This is a suggestion that might take some time, no, but the results are fantastic. I'll go back talking more about this until the end of this broadcast. And another suggestion I would like to give, it's a much more simple, it's not a simple one, it's a suggestion that I'm sure helped a lot, is a cycle in which you interconnect everybody together as a family. So you say, hey guys, how about we all have a meeting together? Let's say you have no sisters, brothers, mom, dad. So let's have a meeting together, either presential or an online meeting. Today we have our cell phone, no? So it's much easier. Before, a few years ago, it was impossible, right? Now we have cell phones, so we all can talk and see each other. So we can have like a cycle of peace, no? And in that meeting, the best way is talk less, hear more, and let to the end your interaction. No, wait until everybody says everything they want, and then at the end you bring your considerations, because whenever you are bringing your decision, whenever you are bringing what you think is the best, everybody already had talked. So you will have more people hearing you with less pressure, because in a meeting, especially family meetings, when people don't talk at the beginning, they feel the pressure, they want to talk. No? So hear everybody first, and then at the end you help and bring all the assistential, as the most assistential points of view, and then you see what it comes from there. No, so those are the two tools I've been using, and the two suggestions I would like to give in specific family matters. No, and will be of course coming back on top of that, but it has been helping, because depending on the situation, we really get cuckoo, right?
Oh,
We
yes.
we need help. I mean, we are just humans, no? So we need help. And this is
Absolutely.
another thing I would like to bring here today. Um, Hello, people. I see you are arriving. That's great. Please feel free to join us. And question, no?
Yes,
We
Leona
have
has a question.
Okay, how can you resolve conflicts of families that are culturally consider parents as authority of higher consciousness, even if children are at a higher level of consciousness? That's also a great question as well. Good ones, good ones. This is a challenge, okay? So I would respond like that. Because you have a higher level of consciousness, and whenever I say higher level of consciousness, I understand we are talking about higher level of perceptions, no? Because we are all in the same level, but we have more acuity, no? So we perceive more. So we address parapsyches, we work with bioenergies every day, we want to assist, we want to help. No, we'll be talking about those 5 steps of liberation as well towards the end. So yes, we do have higher level of consciousness, but because we have that higher level of consciousness, let's place that on practice. So I would say, look to everybody, every profile of people in the family, and when you speak with the family, with the person, mother, father, brother, sister, speak based on the strong trait of the person. Even if the person thinks, no, I am the authority of the family, everybody needs to answer for me. Speak with that person as you speak with your friend, and before addressing that person, brings what the person has that is one strong trait before demanding. No, because sometimes we are very good. I'm not saying it's your case, of course, no, but sometimes we are very good on demanding. We human beings, they are needy. No, we are all the time asking things for us. Just by the simple fact that when you talk with someone, you validate the capacities and the qualities from that person, that shows that you give value to someone. And if you give value to someone, that person will tend to open to you. So it's not like a simple hello, goodbye, how are you, let's ask for a pizza and let's play a game together. Profound conversations, sometimes they need the best place, the best moment, the best connection of people, and the best context to be addressed. So analyze how is your father, how is your mother, if they are balanced enough for you to bring that, to bring what is important, because there are moments that are ideal. So, for example, if you want to bring a subject that is very important for you, and your father is watching football and he loves football, it's not the best time for you to bring. So wait. Or let's say your mother is cooking something that is important for her. Do not bring that in that moment. Select best moment, best context, best phrases, and highlight the qualities of the people you want to talk. And then after all that, you bring the subject you want to address. I'm sure the results, they would be much better. They might not be ideal results, but as we mentioned in the beginning, it's step by step. Let's say, for example, your father, one example, simple example. Let's say your father will not admit never that you go out with a specific person. Let's say you talk about this. You give the qualities of the person, you address that situation, and then eventually he changes his mind. Because we all change our mind. It doesn't matter how long it takes. We change our minds. We change the way we think about each other. No? And we can qualify family relationships as long as we are aware of what is really important for them, not for me. I need to be balanced enough. This is the big challenge of evolution. Because if I am not balanced, if I am in a moment in which I am totally in conflict with myself, that will not be the moment to talk. I hope it helps. Feel free to keep asking. Hello guys, welcome aboard. So now I would like to address one situation.
There's one more question.
Okay, go ahead. Then I address the situation later on. Let's see. It's about being a facilitator or balancer, not a fixer. Otherwise, the cycle just resets. Let me see if I understood exactly the question. It's about being a facilitator or a balancer, not a fixer. Otherwise, the cycle just resets. Yes, let me see. I think this is, Monica is complementing what I mentioned before, right? Yes, if this is in order to complement, I agree with you. This is being a facilitator. Exactly, this is our role, being part of the family. But this role can only be possible if I am very well balanced and very okay and aware of all the family members, if I am aware of how my family works, if I am aware of what is important for him or for her. So before addressing delicate issues or issues that, for example, he or she would not like, bring the best out of that. And then later on, if it's the moment, if it's this, the situation is ideal, you bring the delicate situation. But yes, it's about being a facilitator. We don't want to place our ideas, we don't want to push, no, and force people to eat, no, or to drink, or to be totally overcome by what we think is the best. So we facilitate. We are here to facilitate relationships and to take the best out of it, not to push down, not to create conflicts, not to create violence. No. So we don't want that. But sometimes it happens. So how we deal with that is what will make you a better person. Okay? So I hope it helps, and anything else, please ask again. So now I would, let's see how much, yeah, we have time. I would like to bring here a very quick comment about domestic violence. Now, I have a book I wrote about domestic violence because I experienced that in my family. So the name of the book is Overcoming Domestic Violence. Yes, thank you for placing that. Overcoming Domestic Violence, now changing thinking patterns. This for me was a great pillar, a great step I access, because I was born in a family with a lot of, I experienced a lot of domestic violence. And I learned it. Because of that, I went around the planet looking for possibilities to growth as a person in order to be able and go back and help. No, so it's important to know what is the best thing to do. I have articles, I publish articles, I have other broadcasts in which I talk. I also study how love can be manifested, no, in codependence, dependence, prison, interprison. So all that is difficult, no. But one thing I want to say is, if you are in a relationship with domestic violence, the first thing to do is pop out. So if you are living with your family, let's say mother, father, sister, brother, husband, wife, and you experience domestic violence, physical, psychological, patrimonial, or whatever, which type, if it's domestic violence, you have to pop out. Otherwise, you will not have space in your mind to think. No, so see here, I have three images. I have image number 1, 2, and 3. The number 2, you can see, I have a father fighting a mother and a kid. It's a cycle that repeats. You were raised by a father with domestic violence, a mother with domestic violence. The children, they will have all the effects from that situation. So we don't want that. We don't want number 1, we don't want number 2. So popped out. Of course, this suggestion is for adults, no? For kids, they learn how to deal, no? For kids, we have telephones they can call, no? We have, here in Brazil, we have 190, they can call to be helped. And adults, they need to pop out. Once we pop out from the conflict, we have space to think, we can relearn how to love again. Because inside a family relationship with domestic violence, there is no love. No love at all. No space for love. We might think we are loving, right? We might think fighting is love. It's not. We might thinking I am totally attached in my husband's decision or in my wife's decision. I might think this is love. This is not. This is not. So we have to learn how to unbuild brick by brick and rebuild what is real love. No, so we have to unbuild what is not real love, popping out of that scenario, and then we start to day by day build families, balanced family relationships, no, without domestic violence. And this is what I wrote in my book, especially towards the end. I wrote what I have been learning, how to deal, how I cope with domestic violence. And I learned a lot from that. And we can learn. We can become very aware of that. In order for us to survive, we need to be aware. And what we want is the picture number 3. No? We want to address affection, we want to be happy, and there is no space for happiness if we have domestic violence day by day. So here is what we aim. No, we all experience a proaxis. No, so what is a proaxis? For some people call it mission of life, others call different names. Proaxis is a specific existential programming of each intraphysical human being, intraphysical consciousness, no, in its new life. So we were born, we have a proaxis because we planned before. A proaxis, when we use the word proaxis, it seems, it wanna be something that we planned before, but we are executing here. Like in architecture, before I build houses for clients, I need to design. So I go and design. A proaxis, you design your proaxis before being born. No? So it is this specific programming that we all have in our human life, in this human dimension, planned before the somatic rebirth, no? What we call it resoma of the consciousness, is still in the extra-physical dimension. How could we be aware of our proaxis? We have an institution that deals only with that. The name is APEX, no? APEX. You can go to apexinternational.org. There you'll find courses that are specific for you to analyze and perceive your proaxis. And in our proaxis, we have a family. And we have ways to deal with that family until we can arrive in this healthy family relationship. So having a family is part of everybody's proaxis. There is no proaxis without a family. It does not exist for you a proaxis, either for you to suffer or for you being alone. If you are alone and if you are suffering, you are not close to your proaxis, because a proaxis presupposes that you are balanced, you are aware, you are conscious, and you are not suffering. So when we talk about proaxis, is you in the first place, and then your family, and then friends. No? So family is part of our proaxis. Before talking here, I want to address a few other things. Feel free if you have more questions. Now it's the moment. We still have 10 minutes to conclude. I want to highlight what I consider important in a family relationship. No, it's to keep the balance. thank you for placing the Apex website there. So a clear communication, respect for individuality, empathy, listening, distribution of responsibilities, displays of affection, quality life, healthy conflict resolution. Family without a conflict, it's impossible, but it is possible to establish harmonic resolution. Discussing without aggression. This is why before I address domestic violence, if we have aggression, pop out first and talk later. Oh? Seeking solutions together and knowing how to forgive. When you forgive yourself in the first place, and then you can forgive the family. Because sometimes when we have conflicts, let me go back here, we have too many guilt together that comes with conflict. So dealing with that, it's like peeling onions. You have layers, so you have to pop out, remove layers, see yourself in the mirror, perceive who you are, what you want, and then you can feel more free, establish some level of freedom to debate and be part of cycle of peace, as we mentioned before, interconnection with your families, because being together with family is great, but it's not only joy. Sometimes we have very deep down things we need to address. And another point is we don't want to feel bad, but we also don't want to escape from situations we can help. Yes?
I'd like to ask you, Fafa, in terms of boundaries, how do we respect the other person's boundaries and do not disrespect ours? Because sometimes
Yes.
we just become passive and let the person do whatever they want because we don't want confrontation, we don't want chaos and discussions, and the other person sometimes takes advantage of us and just impose their will because they know that you don't want to fight,
I
right?
know, yeah.
How would you deal with that situation?
Well, there are steps towards that. Of course, we are talking here in a simple way. We know everything is much more complex and we need time to process. Timing in our intraphysical life, it's a great gift because sometimes only time solve. Sometimes only time will make people calm down and realize what is happening. So I'm gonna give a suggestion for everybody that helped me a lot, which is deep down self research. So this is a slide that we'll be bringing. This is part of the broadcast, and it's one of the most important pillars for us to learn how to qualify family relationships, especially the relationships in which we experience lots of fights. Sometimes we have families that they don't fight, they can communicate. That's fantastic. That's great. I hope all the families would be like this, but it's not. Sometimes in communication will presuppose that you say what you feel, you've been validated, the person hears and gives her feedback, you interact. You have two ways. You reflect, you understand, you consider. It's not about accepting, it's about communication. But for us to achieve that, the self-research is very, very, very important, especially in the moments in which we are feeling uncomfortable. So we are bringing here, we are addressing uncomfortable issues here. No? So if we are not comfortable with something, it's a moment for us to stop, opens a window to self-reflection, to see what is me, no, what is inside me, what am I feeling, how I am feeling, and how I could address that situation better for me to understand. No, there are techniques of communication. I just gave one example a few minutes ago when I talk about validating the strong fields of somebody. No, of course, when you have a good rapport with a friend or someone from your family, it's much easier to communicate because you have great rapports. If you have a good rapport, it's because your communication already flows, no, well, go and wave as a wave, no, as that the picture number one from the ocean, no, it's a friendship, goes and comes back. But when the communication does not represent the relationship, the friendly relationship, because as you mentioned, there is just someone imposing, and that person who is imposing because it knows that somebody else does not like conflict, this is not communication. So I would give the suggestion first, opens a space to reflect about that, and the second would be establish some lines, write down some important things you would like to bring to that person about that situation, and address that issue that is uncomfortable for you, which in your case is the lack of communication. Say, look, I have my feelings, I have my wills, and I would like us to qualify the communication. You are a person that is important for me, but how we can do that? No, and bring that and place that in the table. I'm not saying it's easy, no, requires a specific moment, requires us to be prepared before. Whenever we talk, depending on the situation, there we need to prepare. Like I prepare to be here today, like you prepare when you have a test, you study, so the same situation. Prepare, establish some words, some things that will be helping you to help this situation better.
Okay, thank you.
So what we want here is to, we'll be almost arriving at the end. I want to conclude here because I think it's a very important matter. I would love to stay here many hours addressing and talking about balanced family relationship, but I want to leave here with a suggestion. No? Let's try to be conscious about ourselves and about our families. No? And how we do that? We have Conscientiology here. We have many courses. No, we just talk about Apex. They have specific courses about proaxis. In those courses, they help us to be more lucid about our life, about our proaxis, and about our family as well. So let's look, let's place the lens, the binocular, on being conscious. Whenever we are aware and conscious, we are lucid about our situation, and we are lucid that when we are talking with somebody else, that person has its needs, his needs or her needs. If we are conscious about his or her needs, it's much easier to interact. So this is what I would like to highlight. No? Let's be aware, conscious, and lucid about ourselves and about the relationship we establish with everybody. We don't need to be happy and very, hi, how are you? Very happy all the time and be smiling all the time. This is not what I want to say. Being conscious is about being lucid of who we are and what we could do to qualify every relationship in which we interact. We learn all the time. This is the difference. No? This is the difference from being lucid and not being lucid. Whenever we are lucid, we are learning all the time. No? And so this is what I want to highlight. Before closing, I just have one slide I would like to conclude. Another question, how to deal with family members who only listens to you if you have money or status, or would terrorize you too? Exactly. It's more or less in the same, if you go back and listen again, the good thing about this broadcast is that stay recorded, right? If you go back and listen again, deep down and carefully about the way I answered to Anna, it's more or less the same answer, no? So when we have prejudices, when someone is out to place himself in a very powerful position for any reason, it's the same situation. Also, it's the same answer I gave to her, I would give to you. No? It's similar, just different figures and different roles. No? So I would have to conclude. I just want to highlight and talk about consciential energies. We do have energies, so let's learn how to deal with our energies. No, the energy we use, we can talk with people and we can exteriorize. That also helps a lot. And I want to talk quickly about, just highlight the 5 stages. No, this is a test from 700 experiments. It was written by instructor Vieira in 2014. He talks about 5 stages, no, of liberation: interpretation, victimization, recomposition, liberation, and polycarmality. So I'm gonna leave this here. We won't have enough time to address longer, but just in a glimpse, the interpretation is when we are 100% imprisoned with marginalized people that feels entirely entitled to everything. No, they do not accept criticism. So it is possible to deal with them, but it requires a lot from us. No? So that's why that slide about the me perception is very important. The victimization is a step after that. It's when you begin to doubt your choices. No? So from leader, we become victim of the antisocial machine we helped to create in past lives. No? The step number 3, recomposition, is when we start to recompound. We cease to be victim. This is important. We do not want to place ourselves in a victim position. Because, come on, no, this is long past due. We don't need to be victims. We don't need to be crying and saying, oh, I am a victim of the planet. No. We can look for different ways of establishing this recomposition situation. Also, we cease to be victim and begin to serve old former victims. And that is probably inside of our family. Until we reach to stage number 4 and 5, which is liberation and polycarmality. Liberation is the consciousness can now explain discernment. This is what we are bringing here. Do not simply talk, communicate with family members. Use discernment. No, applies maturity, apply universalism, no, which is number 5. We can apply all those traits and those conducts we learn. There are many books today written about that, and there are courses we could do. I suggest you start with the praxis and do other courses to work with bioenergy. And one thing I like the most in the study of the consciousness is the pensene, no? Thoughts, sentiments, and energies. This connection. Whenever we think, we have a feeling and we have an energy that goes together. So let's apply that in our family relationship. Exactly. Thoughts, sentiments, and energies. we have the capacity to solve every problem, every conflict we experience in our family. We can say like this, no, but it does not depend on myself. If you cannot do anything, just sit down every day and sterilize energy. This is the best you could do so far. That's the best you will do. Until one day it opens a little window, no, until another day it opens a door for you to address the best way to talk. And if it's possible, build this a cycle of peace, no? Build a reunion in your family, with your family together. Listen to everybody, because that will help us a lot to solve conflicts and other sorts of situations. We already talked, questions and answers. Here is some references I would like to leave. There is one slide I had no time to address. You guys can check later on. It's just, can you open here? Here, okay. Just you can read later on. Bad stuff and good stuff. Now is the moment for a change. Now is the moment in which we can forgive, we can search for reconciliation, and making the right choice is a matter of discernment. Okay, so I'll leave it here. All the slides will be here. You can come back, stop, and make some prints as much as you want. And I hope we have contributed in some way to this subject. And we are here. I'm gonna leave my email down here. If you would like to ask a question, feel free to send me emails whenever you want. And I would like to say thank you very much for this opportunity, right, Anna?
Absolutely. Thank you so much for taking your time and being here with us. It's always a pleasure to have you here. And thank you all for being here with us. And the next live is going to be with instructor Christina Arakaki. It's going to be on September 7th. So I'd like you to invite you to come back again and join us for another Consciousness in Evolution. Your last remarks, Fafa?
Yes, thank you all for being here, and I hope I was able to help and bring a little bit of the experience I had, and hope to see you soon all. Bye-bye.
Okay, there is the email of Fabiana if you guys want to get in contact with her. And thank you for being with us. See you next time.